boy, what them say people, what them say? This is your girl Aleisha Lee, and welcome back to another episode of Motivational Lee. Yes, this week's episode is all about the power of now, living in the present moment. But before we get into all of that, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. How you mean if you ain't subscribed yet? What you wanna do? Subscribe. Press the subscribe. Done. Yes, but let's get into this. This week's episode 10, is all about the power of now, living in the present moment. Now, this is a book that I was introduced to by my girl Phyllis. Shout out to Phyllis for introducing me to this one. She sent me the link to the audiobook for The Power of Now, which is a book by Eckhart Tolle, and it's all about living in the present moment and how important it is, especially in this day and age, to live in the present moment. And by doing this, you get rid of a lot of the not normal, but the stresses that we consider now as normal. You get to eliminate all of that just by living in the present moment. So I'm going to read out a passage. Now, it's so funny as well that Phyllis introduced me to this, because I was going through my phone the other day, and you know when you've got bare photos, and I was like, I need to delete stuff, so I'm just going through my phone. I've gone right to the top of my phone, and then I've come across this passage, and I saved it in 2016. But it's just funny that she introduced me to this book, and then just randomly, as I'm going through my phone, in the same week to delete stuff, I come across this passage. Anyway, long story short, here is the passage. Live in the now. When I am anxious, it is because I am living in the future. When I am depressed, it is because I am living in the past. We crucify ourselves between two thieves, regret for yesterday and fear of tomorrow. We are what we repeatedly do. You must despise where you are before you will ever be where you want to. Jeez, let me read that again. Live in the now. When I am anxious, it is because I am living in the future. When I am depressed, it is because I am living in the past. We crucify ourselves between two thieves, regret for yesterday and fear for tomorrow. We are what we repeatedly do. You must despise where you are before you will ever be where you want to. Cheese and peas. Oh, giving you the gospel today. Giving you the gospel today. Sorry for that outburst, but that's what the power of that passage does. Live in the now. When I read that and when I listened to the audiobook, I was just amazed by how not easy, but how easy it is when you actually think about it. When you just pause and stop thinking about, what am I going to do next? Oh my gosh, this happened before, it's going to happen again. When you just be, you just feel so much more freedom. And it's something that I'm definitely been trying to practice more. I'm nowhere near, but I'm starting to check myself a bit more. When certain thoughts come into my head, it's like you take yourself out of yourself. It's like you need to listen to the audiobook to get it. I'll leave a link to that down in the description box below. But you have to basically observe your own thoughts, because your thoughts aren't necessarily your thoughts, if that makes sense. There's a soul inside of you that has a purpose, that wants to be full, that wants to feel loved, that wants to feel everything that this life experience has to give. But due to your environment, your surroundings, what you see, what information you're given, your upbringing, it can distort your view of what you think you want and deserve, or what your heart truly desires. And it's only in moments of being present and just sitting with the silence that you're able to find the answers that you really seek. In terms of, for instance, there's been times where I've asked people in the past, what makes you happy? And they don't know. They don't have a clue. They don't they don't really know what they like. I mean, they see things, and because a lot of people believe that that is something good, they believe then that's something good. They haven't got their own kind of, opinion or thought on something. It's more influenced by others around them. They haven't taken the time out to really get to know themselves, to know what it is that they like or don't like. I hope that we can start getting more information about how to be more present, how to know what we want, how to be clear in what it is that we need, and be able to have a great experience. Because sometimes I think it's so sad that people believe that they can't do the things that they want to do or obtain things that they would like to have in this realm or in this life, and they truly believe that it can't happen for them. And it can happen for you. I think that's another thing as well. Like, when we're not living in the now, our mind takes us to places that we don't necessarily want it to go, and what the power of now tries to, what I believe the power of now wants you to do is to be happy with the present moment, but be confident and be positive, knowing that there is always going to be better coming, as opposed to having this fear that it's not going to go as well. I mean, we already know that things can happen. Life can be rubbish, sometimes we get into situations. We already know that, but rather than focusing on that side of it, which we do know is possible and it can happen, let's more focus on the results we do want to happen, and maybe more of that will come about. So yeah, it's basically, I really, really recommend listening to this. It's a book that I'm going to be referring to probably like for the rest of my life now, anytime, because you're going to have times, or you might have times where you feel a bit lost or you're not sure. It's just a good book to reassure you and to reinforce you need to live in the present moment. You need to be excited about the future and use the past as a guide of lessons that you've learned along the way, which will help you create a better future. But yes, people, that is it for this week's episode. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and let me know what you think. What do you do to live in the present moment? For instance, I like to have a little dance sometimes. I'm not going to lie, when I feel a bit like, I just start dancing, and then it just helps me get back to business, get back to focusing, and just be like, do you know what? It could be worse, girl. Let's focus on the solution after the shimmy. So what do you do? Let us know in the comments down below. And also make sure you check out this website called Through This Mind, created by Larry Owere, who is a good friend of mine. And on his website, he is talking about normalizing the conversations around mental health. This month, he's done an article based around Black History Month and Black mental health and why it matters. So I want you guys to check this out. I'll leave the link to that article in the description below, and make sure you sign up to the website as well, so that you can be kept up to date on new articles around normalizing the conversation on mental health. It's a great website. I highly recommend it. So the article that he's done today includes some great information about spotting the 6 signs of depression in Black men and spotting the 6 signs of anxiety in Black women. So I highly recommend that you check it out, especially as well around Black History Month. We need to come together and make sure that we're talking to each other, supporting each other in our goals and dreams, and pushing forward. So let's get it. But yes, people, it's a new week. Let's get it. Let's live in the moment, live in the now. Dunno. Thank you for listening. Anyway, peeps, enjoy your week and stay blessed. Boy. Is that foot?